Hi there, I'm Kristen Price, the founder of Gather and Stay. Thanks for joining us today in the kitchen. We have Audrey Wong from Living Lotus Food and Nutrition joining us today, and I'm so happy to have her here. She does raw chocolates, and they are absolutely phenomenal. So, Audrey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, tell us more about your company and how you got started.
So my company is a raw, vegan, plant-based dessert company. It's a bit of a long story of how I got started, but in 2007, I went to a naturopath and he put me on an alkaline diet, and I was already a vegetarian. I already cut sugar out of my diet. And I was like, what am I going to eat now? Like, I already was on a limited diet, and I didn't have the knowledge of, what food can do for you. And an actor had given me a raw food cookbook. It was called Raw Food Real World. It was Matthew Kenny's cookbook, like Pure Food and Wine in New York.
No, I don't know it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
all gourmet, so it's raw food, but it's not just like zucchini pasta.
Right.
Like high-end gourmet raw food.
Oh.
So I was given this book in 2005, and I didn't know much about raw food, and I kind of just put it on the shelf, like, oh, it's really, really beautiful. I'll just put it on the shelf.
Nice decoration.
Yeah, exactly. I can always flip through and look at the pretty pictures.
Yeah.
Then in 2007 is when I went to the naturopath, and I found this book again, and I was like, this hits all the markers. So I started adding raw food in my diet. Then, as the years went by, so I used to work in the film industry. So I was in the costume department, and the costume department works, depending on the production, about 16 plus hours a day. You're the first to come in, you're the last to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great job. Like, I love that, but I didn't love the lifestyle. So I had brought all this food into my diet, did not drink coffee. So when I entered the film industry when I was 18, I realized, like, what coffee can do to your system. I think that was the first kind of link of, like, oh, food. Because I remember having, like, withdrawal headaches and going, like, this isn't, if I get a migraine every time I don't drink coffee, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I was able to work in the film industry without drinking a lot of coffee, by just adding more raw food into my diet. And then in 2012, I was working on a TV series for 4 years, and I had loved the experience that I had, but I just wanted to do something different. So I decided that I would take a step back from film and go back to school. And so I went and learned raw food culinary and nutrition. And then when I got out of school, I wanted to do 9 things. Like, I honestly thought, like, 9 things is great. But it got pared down to doing workshops and starting a dessert company. And that's because I have a sweet tooth. So it was mainly for myself. And that's how it got started in a nutshell.
That's awesome. What are like a combination of different experiences that led you to that, and what like a prophetic thing that cookbook was, hey? Yeah.
And I always, like, a friend of mine is a friend with that actor, and so I always say, like, I wouldn't even have this company if that actor didn't give that to me. So.
Wow. Oh, so cool. So tell us more about, like, what goes into your chocolate, because I'm sure people are like, chocolate always includes dairy. So first of all, I think like talking about that, and then what other ingredients do you use to make them special?
So one of the products that we make that is different than anything out there is the chocolate ganache. And so I always get the question, like, what is ganache? So ganache is chocolate, like if you take a chocolate bar and you take cream and you mix it together. But we don't use any of that, we use coconut to make it creamy. We don't, and so we kind of break it down. So it's like we reverse engineer a chocolate bar, right? So it's not like we're taking a chocolate bar and mixing it with coconut butter. We're taking all the elements that are in chocolate bar and mixing it with the coconut butter. Yeah, and so there's no filler in any of the foods. There's coconut nectar, so it's diabetic friendly. It's 35 on the glycemic index versus white sugar, which is 67. So that's important, right? So yeah, and so we don't say there's no sugar in it because there's actually sugar in it, but it is a safer alternative for sure. And then we use coconut oil because that is a healthier oil for you. And yeah.
That's amazing. So it's like taking, instead of using butter and cream, it's the constituents of that, which is sort of the fat essentially, and finding a plant-based alternative to use instead that doesn't have dairy in it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And switching out to a healthier fat.
Yeah.
That's fat, but you know, coconut it lowers your the bad cholesterol. So it's just a healthier fat.
Yeah. So chocolate can be good for you. Let's get that on the record.
Yeah, chocolate is a plant.
And so what kind of flavors and what kind of products do you sell?
So we have, the chocolate ganache we sell, and then we also do macaroons. We have 3 flavors of macaroons: chocolate, blueberry, and vanilla. And those are dehydrated. The blueberries come from a farm in Abbotsford, so they're local. It's hard to get like local coconut, you can't find it, or like local fair trade cacao powder. So when we can go local, we can, like with the fruit or any like seasonal things that we do. What else do we have? We have candied nuts. So those are sprouted and dehydrated.
Wow.
So, yeah, so everything we do is done with health in mind. So yes, it's a treat, but I like to sort of manipulate the ingredients so that you can have as much nutrients as possible. So by sprouting, you can actually get more nutrients, up to, I don't know the exact percentage, but up to 20% more nutrients just by sprouting.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. And it's because it takes the oxalic acid off of it, right?
Yeah. And the enzyme inhibitors.
And which, sorry?
And the enzyme inhibitors.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Which is amazing for people with any digestive disorders or who often have trouble digesting nuts because they're so hard.
And it's actually most of us that have a hard time digesting nuts. A lot of the nuts that are sitting on the shelf, like in the bulk section of like the grocery store, they've been roasted, but that's a form of deep frying. Because they want to do it fast, right? So then they're stripping any nutrients out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that makes me crave some of your products right now.
Send some to you.
And then for your ganache, now I know from experience that you have a couple different flavors. So you've got smoked, mint, and which is the other one?
We have 6, and next week we'll have 7.
Oh, what's the brand new flavor? Tell us about that.
The brand new flavor is Earl Grey.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and so there's no tea in it. It's just the essences of Earl Grey. So we have, our 7 flavors are dark, salted mint, orange, chili, smoked, lavender. Oh, that's 8. And Earl Grey.
Wow. What's your favorite?
My favorite's mint.
Yeah.
But my favorite is mint because I love chocolate mint anything. Like growing up, my mom was always given a box of like Laura Seaford chocolates, which they don't exist in BC anymore, but and so that was always like the treat, like special occasion. My dad would buy her a box of Laura Seaford chocolates.
Nice.
And so everyone in our family like loves chocolate mint. So
basically you were meant to make chocolates.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if someone wants to purchase your products, tell us where they can find them.
So we're in about 20 different stores. Um, Anywhere, we have a lot of stores in East Van. So Eternal Abundance on Commercial Drive has our ganache. Victoria's Health, which is downtown across from the law courts, they have every single one of our products.
Nice.
All
So
of
if you're downtown, that's like the hub spot to go to.
Right.
Okay.
And then Victoria's Health just opened a new store in Canby Village, so Broadway and Canby. All the stores are also listed on my website.
Perfect. I was just about to ask that.
Oh, perfect.
And what's your website? We'll put it in the notes, but
it's livinglotus.net.
Perfect. Awesome. And you're also at some markets, or you do special pop-up events. So is there anything coming up in particular there that you have going on?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be at the convention center for the events leading up to the BMO Marathon.
Sweet. And what are the dates on that?
The dates are
First week of May, second week of May.
Yeah, it's May 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Perfect. Okay.
And that's in the convention center, and it's open to the public.
Great.
And then we're also doing the Mount Pleasant Farmers Market in June. We have 2 dates in June, and we have one date in June 4th, and then we have 2 dates in July, and that is on Sundays from 10 to 2.
Nice. So lots of different ways people can interact with you, and I'm sure you post on your website if there's anything else coming up. So it's a great place to go over and just make sure you bookmark it and follow her to find out where you can.
And our Instagram, I post a lot on our Instagram.
Okay, perfect. So that's the place to go if you want like the latest and greatest. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you think people should know about your company that you really want to tell them?
We are also doing chocolate making workshops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So our next one is May 13th, and it's a Saturday, and it goes from 1 to 4. It's a 3-hour hands-on chocolate making workshop. So I teach you how to temper chocolate. So tempering is a way to basically manipulate the fatty acid crystals in chocolate. So I teach you, what that means.
Yeah, good. I was like, okay, first off, definition.
Yeah, it's very sciencey. And then I teach you about the sweeteners. So in the chocolate workshop, we don't use any high glycemic sweeteners at all. And so we kind of go through that as well. Basically teach you what you want to know. Like at the beginning of the class, I ask everyone. 'Cause, I can go on and on about raw chocolate, but it's a better user experience if the participants tell me what they want.
Yeah. And what an amazing experience, because to actually take people through step by step on how to create it at home and how they can make it themselves is such a cool opportunity. And so you can actually stop buying the crappy junk bar things from the grocery store and actually get the tools and the ingredients, which are quite simple, and learn how to put it together yourself.
Yeah, and then that knowledge, they have that knowledge, right? So it's and they can pass it on to someone else, and so it's all in the name of getting people to just please eat out there.
Yeah. Chocolate. It's basically you're the perfect company. It's healthy and it's chocolate. Well, it has been so lovely to have you here today, and I wish you all the best this summer with all that you're up to, and I can't wait to connect with you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.